Hello again and welcome to the Travel Today newsroom here in Chatswood, Sydney. I'm Steve Jones, editor of Travel Today, bringing you a rundown of this week's major news from the travel industry. We start this week in the wholesale sector. NRMA Travel and Leisure announced a brand restructure that will see three of its specialist businesses, that's Creative Cruising, Value Tours and Coral Seas, folded into Adventure World. That's the brand the company will now focus all its sales and marketing on. That's not to say the other three brands will disappear altogether, at least not just yet. Brochures will be dual branded, but we'll see what happens going into the future with that. Now, according to the company, the move is designed to make life easier for travel agents and no doubt internally as well. But there, of course, are some handy cost savings to be made from the move. As Chief Executive Keith Stanley noted this week, it's a lot cheaper to market one brand than it is to market four brands. And you can read more about this story and my thoughts on it in this week's Week in Focus in today's Travel Today. Moving on to aviation, it's a case of another week, another major alliance for Virgin Australia, this time with Singapore Airlines, which solves its Asia dilemma. It really has been a remarkable 10 months for the airline under the stewardship of John Borghetti, and so much has happened in recent times that it's sometimes hard to imagine that Virgin was purely a low-cost airline not so long ago. The Singapore Airlines deal, which requires regulatory approval, which should come by the end of the year, it's the final piece in Virgin's global jigsaw, and is certain to pile the pressure on Qantas as both airlines chase the lucrative corporate customer. Speaking of Qantas, the ACCC granted interim approval for its Trans-Pacific alliance with American Airlines this week, providing a good bit of news for Chief Executive Alan Joyce. That will allow the two carriers to start to make progress on the alliance ahead of full approval, should it be given, of course. It's another week and another cruise ship is heading to Australia. In November 2012, the Voyager of the Seas will begin a 5-month stint operating cruises from Sydney and Fremantle. It will be the 5th cruise ship operated by Royal Caribbean in local waters in that 2012-13 season. Now, cruising, of course, is booming in Australia, has been for a number of years, and the figures speak for themselves. But is there a point where there's too much capacity too quickly? The cruise lines tell me not, that there's ample potential in the Australian market to sustain another vessel, but it is a huge vessel, this one. It's almost 4,000 passenger capacity, so a lot of selling there to do for the Royal Caribbean sales team. Tourism Australia revealed unveiled, I should say, its China strategic plan up at a summit in Cairns this week. Now, unless you've been living on the moon, you'll realise that China is a fairly strong travel market these days. Certainly, Tourism Australia is pinning its hopes on attracting more and more travellers from that country, particularly as traditional markets continue to decline. Andrew McAvoy, the Tourism Australia Managing Director, revealed plans to open a further 11 offices in China within the next 3 years. That'll take its presence to 24. He also revealed that it's examining the marketing potential of 600 cities in China. Not, of course, that it's going to open 600 offices. I'm not quite sure the budget would stretch to that many, but it demonstrates that Tourism Australia is clearly focusing all its efforts on China and that wider Asia market. That's it for now. Thanks for watching another Travel Today wrap-up. We'll be back at the same time next week. It's the long weekend, of course. Hip, hip, hooray. So we'll be back with another Travel Today issue on Tuesday. Have a great weekend. Take care.